Welcome back to Grab Your Brew, the podcast where the tea is warm, the morals are cold, and the punishments are medieval at best.
Although we've got coffee, we've been reliably informed that a lot of people drink tea. Anyway, tonight we're stepping into the legal department of Fairyland, where justice means fire, drowning, humiliation, or spontaneous dismemberment.
Could be worse, could be spontaneous combustion, I guess.
Could be.
Episode 3, Beheaded, Blinded, and Baptized. Grim Justice 101.
Grab your brew and maybe a therapist.
Let's begin with Snow White, KHM 53. The earliest manuscript is 1810, first printed in 1812. Main Grimm source, Marie Hassenfluke, with input from others.
So the original Snow White, obviously no Disney bedtime story, is a murder plot. The Queen, originally her real mother, wants Snow White dead because she's prettier. Legit reason for
Poor
wanting someone
parenting.
dead. Yeah, so she demands her lungs and liver and tries to kill her 3 times and finally dies dancing in red-hot iron shoes on Snow White's wedding day.
One teenager tells a story, and the Grimms go, maybe add a little bit of cannibalism.
Why not? Why not? So in the 1810 manuscript and the 1812 first edition, the villain is Snow White's biological mother.
Real mum. Not stepmother. No stepmother scapegoat yet. Real mother.
So in 1819, Willem changed her to a stepmother because reviewers said the original made mothers look monstrous.
And that's the issue that they had with
it.
Cannibalism fine, monstrous mums too far, apparently.
Yeah, so the Queen demands her daughter's lungs and liver, and this basically connects to a widespread ritual cannibalism motif through Europe within folklore. It's symbolic, not literal, where eating someone's organs gives you their essence, basically. That was the belief.
Apparently, they hadn't learned transplants yet. Diet culture has been going too far for centuries.
Agreed. So the punishment, the red-hot iron shoes, it does stay consistent throughout the Grimm editions. And scholars debate whether it's linked to medieval ordeal traditions or of moral purification, but nothing definitive is on record.
Hot shoes for purification? Like burning the soles off your feet?
It's the whole burning as baptism of fire and...
They hadn't learned about detoxification pads back then. Either way, worst rave footwear ever.
Could you
Ever.
imagine?
Can you imagine trying to
Jesus.
dubstep wearing hot shoes? Oh, tap dancing on my days.
Oh God! But the origins, they're likely medieval, but the motives are way older. But again, it's impossible to pinpoint because it's just so old. We could say roughly 1,000 years, but likely older.
So translation, ancient chaos.
Yeah. So the next one is the Goose Girl. And it isn't one of the most well-known ones, although it is interesting. So, a princess is betrayed by her maid who steals her identity. The real princess becomes a goose herder. Why not? Why not?
Sounds like a fun life.
Yeah. Her only friend is her talking horse, Falada.
Oh, this is getting
who,
better. I feel like she got
I
a fair
know,
trade.
yeah, whose severed head she mounts under a gate so she can talk to him. The false
Okay,
bride
now
is,
it got dark. Then it got
yeah.
dark.
Did you wonder where I was going with
Yeah, I was like, this sounds
it?
too nice and fairy-like to be Grimm.
So the false bride is then executed later in the story. This is only a brief. And she's executed by being put in a barrel lined with nails and rolled to death. Yeah, rolled to death.
Wow. You gotta give it to them. They had some they. This is why we need TV, guys. I know people say we watch too much TV, but when you leave us to our own demise, we torture people with barrels full of nails.
I know. So the Goose Girl was printed in 1815 and it was later renumbered KHM 89. And the named Grimm source is Dorothea Feeman. She did give a lot of their sources. She did provide a lot of their sources, should I say.
The false bride swaps identities. Plot is ancient and widespread,
Mm.
but the precise origin can't really be known, like most folklore tales. We just know
Mm,
something happened.
yeah, identity theft is older than paperwork.
Say that again. Can you imagine back in the day? Like, I know everybody complains about being a number with national insurance numbers and social security numbers, but imagine how easy it was to steal someone's identity back in the day.
Well, think about this one. The maid stole their identity because they wouldn't have known what she looked like. It's like, hey, you're going to get married. They'll be over on a ship or on horseback in a carriage
Yeah.
in about 6 weeks' time or something crazy like that.
And the other maids aren't going to snitch on her because the only one that would really know what she looks like, because most of the time, kings and queens back then didn't really get involved other than for family portraits with their children.
No. So, yeah, their identity theft.
The princess's companion is Falada, her talking horse. When Falada is executed, she has his head mounted under a gateway so he can still speak. How I understand getting their head mounted because you miss your bestie, but I mean, let's face it, would you put your best friend's head, would you mount my head on your mantelpiece?
No, I'd turn you into jewellery.
Thank you. And if I still talk at that point,
Well, I am mentally ill. So,
yeah, okay, yeah.
could be a new diagnosis.
New diagnosis, yes, yes.
Oh. So basically, it's medieval coping skills. It's unhinged, but committed. She's committed.
Yeah. The
Hmm.
maid's punishment is exactly as printed. The barrel lined with nails and rolled around until she's dead.
A
Seems like
medieval,
a lot of work.
yeah, a medieval smoothie cycle.
Ooh, just throwing in the cannibalism. It's like, oh, we've already drained them
Well,
for you.
I didn't create the cannibalism. They put it out there. I'm just running with it.
Yes. There were barrels of punishment historically, but the tale isn't tied to one specific legal tradition.
It's metal as hell, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So next up we have King Thrushbeard, Humiliation as Moral Reform. A vain princess mocks every suitor, especially one with a beaky chin. She nicknames him King Thrushbeard. He disguises himself, tricks her into marrying him, while he's pretending to be poor. For, forces her to do humiliating work, and only at the end he reveals he's actually the king. So,
King Thrushbeard is KHM 52 and it was printed in 1812. And it's the Hossenfluke family again. Dovina von Hoxhausen. It's really complicated, and I'm sorry. I am sorry for butchering the language yet again. And Dorschen Wild. We heard about Dorschen Wild in the last one.
An entire girl group collected this mess.
Of course. The princess mocked her suitor, especially the sharp-chinned one. So Thrushbeard disguises himself and he drags her through poverty and makes her work.
Character development through manual labour. Classic.
So for accuracy, the 1812 edition already emphasises the harsh poverty and humiliation, but later editions lean more into the comedy tone. But the chores and hardship are there from the start.
So, still Grimm. Just slightly better lit.
Yeah. Scholars agree it's a moral tale shaped by 19th century Protestant values about humility, basically.
Or, as modern dating apps call it, learning to be less picky, or the app with what's left in the world. So, a man chooses Death, the person Death, as his son's godfather because Death is impartial. Now, Death makes the boy a doctor with a rule. Of course, there has to be rules. When Death is at the foot, the patient gets to live. When Death is at the head, the patient dies. The doctor cheats, and Death punishes him. In the 1819 edition, Death lets the doctor's life candle burn down, and the doctor dies.
Godfather Death is KHM 44, published in 1812, and it was another source we've been to so far, Marie Elizabeth Wilde.
Death chooses you as a godson. Great start. Great start.
It is. He trains the boy as the physician, with the rule, feet are safe, head are dead.
Headed dead. Imagine A&E if this was our policies. But don't come near my head. Stay over there.
I know. In the 1812 edition, the tale ends after Death shows the room of life candles. And then in 1819, the Grimms added the iconic ending where Death lets the physician's candle just expire. It's borrowed from a printed 1811 tale by Christian Schilling.
Death with an expansion pack.
So next up, we have Nixie of the Millpond. This is one of Mum's favourites from when she was younger, from what I remember. And Miller promises a water spirit the first thing that emerges from his house, which ends up being his newborn son, of course.
Of course.
Years later, the Nixie drags the grown man underwater, and his wife wanders for years. She receives magical help and finally rescues him. But other European versions of the tale can end with death. The Grimm's version ends with a reunion, though, because they do tend to soften things a little.
Next, the Nixie of the Millpond, KHM 181. It appears in the Grimm's 1843 edition, or 5th edition. Source from Moritz Help. I'm not redoing that, I'm sorry guys, it is what it is. I am not a language specialist. Noted as current in the Upper Lusatia.
So we've got an anonymous pond demon. I think we approve of that. Like a good pond demon.
This belongs to the tale type ATU 316, seen widely across northern and central Europe. The motive, a water spirit claiming a human. Tale as old as time. It is pre-Christian, but beyond that, dating the origin is murky at least.
like the pond.
In the Grimm story, the Nixie drags the miller's son under. His wife searches for years and, with help from a wise woman and magical objects, finally it frees him.
Important clarification, she's not rescued through prayer alone, like in some versions. It's old school magical items and determination.
Other European variants of the ATU 316, not specifically German ones, Grimm's adapted. Sometimes they ended in tragedy with the captive lost forever. So the Grimm ending is one of the gentler ends of the spectrum, if that's what you can call it.
It's a rare win for folklore marriage. So, the theme we're seeing across the tales, which Willem Grimm leans into, and we always mention Willem because we call it Grimm's, but he is the writer, Willem. So we see sin or pride, ordeal, humiliation or torment, or redemption or death.
Step 3 is optional if you're in a rolling barrel.
Yeah, and you become a little smoothie.
Cannibal
So for example, Snow White is envy, leaning into the iron shoes, so the punishment. Goose Girl is deceit, followed by a nail barrel. Thrushbeard, pride, so she's full of pride, so she's forced into poverty. Godfather Death, rule breaking, so his candle burns out, and then obviously with the Nixie, it's broken vow, wandering a magical trial.
As we've already seen in previous episodes, Folklore HR is ruthless.
Oh yeah.
People claim they want a happy story, but then they listen to true crime for fun. Like me.
Yeah. We crave consequences.
Sorry.
We do crave consequences though, and spectacle.
Oh yeah, even children.
Human nature.
Mm-hmm.
And folklore, folk tales created structure and chaotic lives. Justice, even though it's brutal justice, to them made sense.
And let's be honest, the drama is delicious. Tonight, murderous moms, horsehead friendships, chin-based revenge plots, Death's HR department, and one very committed water spirit. Stay tuned to Grab Your Brew.
Europe's original soap opera. Next week, we've got holy water and pagan hangovers.
Bring a coffee and a towel.
Keep your conscience clear.
Your shoes nice and cool.
And your barrels nail-free.
Good night, and remember, if someone hands you iron shoes at a wedding,
it's not couture, it's grim justice.
Have an amazing week, guys. Take care.
Bye.